Alright guys, welcome back to another what if scenario, and this one's gonna be fun. Mostly because this is a what if the Spinosaurus from JP3 was on Skull Island. So I've done this before with the Indominus Rex, and for reference as to which Skull Island I'm talking about, this Skull Island is the '06 one. This is the Peter Jackson Skull Island. So yeah. So for this one, we're gonna have some fun with this one. So anyway, so let's get started with the idea. So basically, what would it be like if the Spinosaurus just found itself on Skull Island, and what would happen from there? Now, the big thing you have to understand is that, for all intents and purposes, it's been heavily implied and borderline confirmed at this point that the Spinosaurus from JP3 was one of the first hybrids Wu and InGen created. It was one of the, or shall I say, the first successful hybrid. Apparently, it was, while it was a genome dominant of Spinosaurus, there was apparently other animals put in there. Hence why it was so intelligent, why it was so driven, why it was so just all around powerful as a creature. In fact, it was remember, it was secretly put on the island. So what would it be like if that apex predator from Isla Sorna was dumped onto the Peter Jackson era Skull Island? Now the big thing you have to understand is that the Spinosaurus was like an alpha predator. He was this massive carnivore that had been known to hunt down and kill T-Rexes. So this thing was borderline unstoppable. But here's the thing. Much like how I said the Indominus would have trouble dealing with the megafauna here, the same will be said for the Spinosaurus. You see, the Spino, essentially, this thing is in a whole new ballpark. It is basically big fish in a little pond. That's really how you can look at it, is that this is big fish in little pond syndrome for a multitude of reasons. Now, am I saying it could adapt? More than likely. It does have some features which we will get into as to why I think it could thrive on Skull Island. The big thing is that most of it's a smaller island. That version of Skull Island is vastly smaller than Isla Sorna was, and therefore the creatures on the island evolved vastly different and with various forms of armor. Excuse me. So that's something you have to look at with this, is that these animals exist in a vastly different ecosystem than what the Spinosaurus is used to. The Spino was clearly meant to be aside from the T-Rexes, it was meant to be the king of Isla Sorna. But here's the thing, is that there are other forms of megafauna on that island that can easily compete and drive off the Spinosaurus. Of course, first and foremost, Kong. Kong would be a massive opponent for the Spino. The Spinosaurus and Kong would Kong would see the Spinosaurus as a rival invader, and someone who would be a threat to his kingdom, like this unknown alien invader coming into his home. And Kong is intelligent. Not to say the Spino isn't, but I do vastly believe that the Spinosaurus, could it fight Kong? Yeah. Could it win against Kong? Probably not. So Kong would be the biggest challenge, because the Spinosaurus is used to fighting opponents who are incapable of punching back. So the Spinosaurus is when he takes a hit from Kong, let alone being hit with a log or something, or a stone by Kong, he's gonna be like, what the fuck? Not only that, the other big rivals to Kong, not just Kong that he has to worry about, everything is bigger and meaner on Skull Island. And of course, I'm referring to the Vistatosaurus Rex, the V-Rex. The V-Rexes in Skull Island are as big, if not just a bit larger than the Spinosaurus itself. That animal, the V-Rex, it's supposed to be it is the alpha predator that wiped out Kong's species. And yeah, that thing is an evolved T-Rex. It is a vastly larger predator, and it could probably take a lot of the punishing blows that that the Spino could dish out. Now, it doesn't have the same evolutionary traits that the Spinosaurus has, or should I say the genetically engineered traits that the Spinosaurus has. Case in point, the Spinosaurus is just like its actual ancestor. That's our version of Spinosaurus, the JP3 Spino, is capable of swimming. It is capable of swimming deep underwater. It's capable of moving through waterways, and that could actually be of help. It could actually strike like a crocodile. I could see it because there are hadrosaurs and even animals that are called brontosaurs existing on Skull Island, and it could probably just shoot out like a crocodile and grab something and drag it underwater. It would probably have to evolve to that level in order to avoid competition with not just Vistatosaurus Rex, but also the raptors on the island, the Venatosaurus. So the Venatosaurs are larger raptors. These things were big, like they would swarm Kong and attack, and also go up to bat against the sauropods on the island. These things had no fear of larger carnivores because they were big, they were fast, and they also traveled in packs. And remember, the Spinosaurus was originally meant to be killed by the raptors in JP3. That was the original ending. But that didn't happen. So imagine what would it be like if the Spinosaurus had to run into animals that were bigger and probably had a little more smarts to them too. It would have to, the Spinosaurus would have to readapt to hunting, to living, and realize it's a small fish in a big pond. You have basically taken the big fish out of the pond and put it in a smaller pond with just as big and meaner fish. That's what I'm trying to convey here, is that the Spinosaurus would have to reevaluate. He'd really have to reevaluate how he'd hunt, how he'd catch prey, assert dominance on the island. Because it's like I said, Kong, the V-Rexes, the Vistatosaurs, there are other carnivores that weren't seen on the island, like terror birds and large bats and other major predators. And it's just one Spino who thought he was hot shit. So yeah. But anyway, you guys tell me in the comments below, what do you guys think it would be like if the Spinosaurus ended up on Skull Island? Do you think he could survive, or do you think he'd be dead? Just comment below, let me know. Once again, hope you all enjoyed this. I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.